Daredevil Born Again episode 4 is here, and we finally get payoffs for some of the teases that we've had all along the way. Is the Punisher showing up? What's going to happen with this? What's going to happen with that? Can we finally see the Muse? Yeah, we're going to get a little bit of that. So let's talk about this episode right now. All right, I'm Pops, and yeah, I'm in the middle of the Daredevil Born Again series. This is episode 4, and Disney Marvel's trying to continue that Netflix feel with that great Daredevil series, and everyone that matters is come back, and we do get a pretty good feel so far in the first 3 episodes. I mean, the court case and the legality, if you want to look at like law itself, is pretty absurd, but in superhero universes like this, that's kind of what we get in comic books sometimes. We get a lot of like the court cases and defense of vigilantes and stuff to be pretty silly. Like, I don't know, it at least went to trial and it's based on the emotions of a jury, which is probably the only way that some of this stuff would actually play out the way it does. And Matt's dealing with the consequences of his actions, though. He put White Tiger's identity out there and it led to his execution. All right, and this is right front and center for Matt when he's face to face with his niece. And I got to be honest, I have no reason not to believe that Marvel will do it. I will be shocked if they don't do it and give her the necklace and the white tiger mantle, if you will. They love their mantles, don't they, folks? They love it, and it happens in the comics, so they'll get away with saying it happened in the comic books. And there's no one I think out there that wants to see this itty bitty tiny Spanish girl become the new version of White Tiger. But don't be shocked if that happens. But she comes with a lot of profanity and bad attitude, of course, about how her uncle was killed being a good person, even though he was awful as a vigilante, even though he's helping people, right? He's still hurting and possibly even killing people. So that's how the episode kind of starts. And of course, Matt is ho hum and dealing with some of that. Can I give them a little bit of credit though? They at least put him on a rooftop. They gave him something interesting for us to look at while all this is transpiring. I mean, yeah, sure, it's kind of, I don't want to say boring and predictable. We kind of know that he's going to basically get over himself, but we do get good editing and cuts that feel like New York and stuff that kind of keeps us immersed into the journey that we're on. Well, then we got to get back to the Kingpin story. He's at marriage counseling with his wife Vanessa, and that the counselor, of course, is the girlfriend of Matt Murdock. Neither Kingpin nor Matt know that's actually the situation, and this becomes kind of the most boring, tedious elements of this. Again, this is where the Netflix shows really excelled was their relationship, and right now I don't feel like they know exactly what to do with Vanessa. She has been running the crime syndicate. He's now mayor, so they're trying to keep this magical divide, and it's kind of like a magical divide as a metaphor in their relationship as well. And the counselor basically takes the high road of, well, he's not really like threatening you. You're not at risk, are you? Like blink twice if you're in danger, kind of stuff. But it was just like we in the audience kind of know what's going on. So I don't know that this really felt like it needed to be given as much time. They're trying to make it feel like it matters, but yeah. It does set up a big twist at the end of the episode. That was actually the only saving grace to any of this subplot. The episode does get bogged down again with Matt's new case, a charity case of a black man that's basically stealing cereal that he somehow claimed he paid for yesterday. They skip and jump through things, and the dude has a long criminal history and a horribly bad attitude about not doing time, even though this is like his seventh arrest and he had done X amount of days and he wants to be in and out. And it's like we waste a ton of time for sort of like, don't you feel bad for this dude who's breaking the law because he missed his appointment and he therefore couldn't get his food stamps, and therefore this it's this endless cycle of the situation, which I understand that commentary, and maybe there is something that can be put together that could discuss that. But I feel like that has been done better elsewhere, and it bogs down the Daredevil superhero story. Like it's the reason he's taking the case, and I feel like we could have condensed this of why he feels like he needs to take the case and fight for the guy. But it basically just becomes a flirtatious bickering with the prosecuting attorney, and like I don't know, like you're cute, and there's just like all this cutesy wootsy back and forth, and that still gives him 2 weeks, and he's not going to be happy about that anyway. So I don't know, man. I this was that was kind of like the drag on this episode. We do get this brief shot between the cop, the dirty cop, basically, and Matt, and this is one of the two cops that attacked Matt when he was trying to, get that witness to the stand, and I'm still just not accepting the fact that this dude has not figured out that Matt probably is some sort of metahuman. Like he's got some sort of special talents, and that's why he was able to beat the snot out of these two police officers with a gun pointed to his head. Like it's almost silly. And basically, we're here just for Matt to hear his heartbeat and realize that he is testing him to find out if he is the one that assassinated the White Tiger or not, which he is not. And therefore, that's going to prompt Matt to go to the crime scene. Let's just go there. All right. Imagine Matt going to the crime scene and there's no police tape. There's no one there acknowledging this is where White Tiger got killed. He sort of walks around. He finds something that falls. So therefore it rolls. So therefore it leads him to find the magic bullet that killed White Tiger. And the bullet, of course, will have a Punisher logo on it. And all that just gets us to where we want to be. The Punisher shows up. We see it be teased for months now. It's a great interaction. They have great chemistry. It feels exactly like the dark elements that we wanted from the Netflix show, the comic book, the Daredevil versus Punisher elements of Matt Murdock versus Frank Castle, the morality conflict, all of that. And Frank accurately calls out the moral contradiction that Matt's faced with, the guilt that he has by putting White Tiger out there. Now he's dead. It's like, don't you want to do something about it more than just, I don't know, take up another legal case? So all of this is the best elements, and I love that it finally comes. We finally get that payoff, and we get John Barnthal at his best. He is fantastic as Frank Castle, aka Punisher, and it's just kind of creating some of those things that we want. All fans are thirsty for. All right, one thing I don't think fans were thirsty for, and I'm not thirsty for, is seeing Tony Soprano's son Michael play the aide to the Kingpin, go out for drinks with these two mediocre at best women who somehow just get him drunk enough to talk about his job, and they're going to betray his trust by leaking the information out into the open. There is the brief interaction where he comes clean to Wilson and says, "Yeah, I'm the one who did it, but I'm loyal to you. I'm getting fired, whatever." So it's showing you that he will go right to the edge of being old Kingpin, but loyalty matters more than anything else. Like he's still running things as a crime boss. We saw this very briefly with how he handled the one police chief, right? He had pictures of his wife and kid or something. Like we see little nuances of how he's still the Kingpin in there. So this is all that's designed to. The problem is we had to sit through a whole bunch of other crap too. So so poor Mayor Fisk, Wilson the Kingpin, sitting through them. He goes to a kids class and he's going to like it's like a foreign gathering, and they are basically singing the exact same song, horribly out of tune, trying to be a tribute and honor him. It's unbearable. You're trying to get that feel for how miserable he is really being the mayor. Of course, this is put up against what I said, the betrayal of his own group trying to out his plans to the public and all of that. So that's what's happening with the Kingpin story arc. Oh, Matt's story is just so predictable. It's lovey-dovey nonsense. I'm so happy I'm coming home to you in my house. It's not an empty house. Blah blah blah. Cutesy cutesy wootsy wootsy. I'm not Daredevil again, but I'm kind of feeling it. We get the shot of the Daredevil helmets. We get Matt on the roof, juxtaposed with the Kingpin sitting down and behaving like the Kingpin, where he's going down in this area where he has his meal, and you see Matt working and exercising with the billy clubs, and then you have sort of like this last second moment, and this is really some of the best parts. And you saw the quick shot there with the Kingpin, and he has this dude in this little jail cell, and it turns out that's actually the dude that nailed his wife while he was away. Quote, he didn't kill him. He's just torturing him. And there's a great line about forgiveness and whatever. And that was a pretty good reveal. Like what actually happened to Adam. Well, he's right there. Then we finally, then we finally get to the Muse. The image and the shots here are directly out of the comic book. So if there is anything that is sort of a saving grace for the Muse storyline, it's the fact that they really went right to it. So the Muse has his victim. He's sucking blood out of him. You see a quick shot. It's a tease. The only thing I would have liked with all of this is we had seen them as the next patient after the Kingpin, like they were crossing paths maybe. Just give us something with the audience. I feel like we're trying to do a whole lot of things that are very disconnected in the comic book land and then throwing them all back together again. I don't totally hate everything. I do feel like we're getting just the watered down version of Daredevil Netflix and Daredevil Born Again again. But it's still the best Disney Marvel stuff that we may have ever had, and definitely among the better things. And it's at least very serviceable for what the content should be. Now, again, we're episode 4. I've been very apprehensive so far. It's dark and it's gritty and it's edgy, and we're going to see how far they'll go with Muse, because Muse is literally painting art and just putting dead bodies in crazy positions and stuff before he gets captured. What's weird is all of those comics are centered around a character, the Muse, who is some sort of inhuman and able to hold his own against Daredevil. None of that has been set up so far. So, just to recap, we have Matt Murdock, who is increasingly trying to figure out how to become Daredevil again, because he just is not settled and comfortable into the life as being only the lawyer, because the things that he's doing in the lawyer side's working, but the vigilante needs to be out there taking care of the cases that it doesn't go well, like Who Killed White Tiger and Vengeance for this and Vengeance for that. Wilson and Kingpin, just we're going to come to a head where he's going to have to be who he really, really is. He can't just pretend to be into the straight laced power mode. And the situation with Vanessa will come to a head. Obviously, he still has Adam in a cage, but more importantly, what their relationship and dynamic is, I feel that tension is just taking too long to figure. I don't know if they know exactly what they want to accomplish there, right? Everything else is sort of like secondary, right? Punisher showing up will probably be some sort of moment, and that will lead into some sort of series or special they want to do with the Punisher. The Muse is likely just going to be dispatched or something like that. I don't think it's going to be of any major substance. But all in all, I feel like everything is still very, very solid with this show. This is definitely a very solid, like 3.5 out of 5 for me. I actually look forward to getting to this at some point. I am not on the edge of my seat watching this when it drops. So that's how far they've come. It used to be as bad as Falcon Winter Soldier was. It was like, oh, we're going to sit here and we're going to wait for this to drop, right? Like we were still engaged those first few series, Loki and WandaVision. We've gotten to a point now where we're pretty beat down and kind of blah about this. I don't hear much buzz about the show. I don't hear any real legs like a week or two later. I don't see videos dropping now about episodes 1 and 2, people catching up or anything like that. So that's kind of where we're at. It's like it's very solid, but is it too little too late? Is kind of how I feel. I feel like it being good or good enough just may be a little too late. So that's my general take on where we're at. Love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching, everybody. I am Pops.